So how can you solve that with technology? There is a huge problem in healthcare that we want to provide information, but information delivery and teaching and learning takes time. And so many people and providers are under the pressure of reducing the time spent with patients to the actions that can only happen in person. So again, I'm a chiropractor. The physical exam, palpation, hands-on treatment can only happen in the visit. But all the discussions about hydration, sleep quality, nutrition, supplementation, that patient education piece shouldn't be ignored, shouldn't be dismissed in order to just treat the patient, but instead, which of those two can we move to a technological solution? There is no technology I know of to provide hands-on care, but through a series of drip emails, so emails scheduled to go out every other day for a week, I could share a lot of information with a new patient. In fact, all the information I want, and it would be even more trust-inducing if we told that patient, hey, I'm going to send you a series of 5 emails over the next week. I'd really like you to watch them or read them and understand what I put in there. Could be a mixture of videos, presentations, PowerPoints, whatever you want to educate those patients. But that piece can be solved with technology, whereas the hands-on care cannot. What else? So availability. I think that's a great point here. If patients want availability of their providers, it shouldn't be in a way that overburdens the providers, but it should be used in a way to increase the experience of our patients and increase that trust. So how can we do that? Number one, every messaging system you use needs to always focus on two-way communication. Email is two-way communication. Phone is two-way communication. Text messaging needs to be two-way communication. I currently go to see a pulmonologist. They have one-way text messaging. I get announcements from their office. I get appointment reminders. I can't reply to any of them or get an answer. So that is not building trust, right? That is just a one-way communication. So ensure that your office is only using two-way communications. And if that's not available in your EHR with automated messages, check out TrustDrivenCare. We have software that allows for two-way communication. You also should make sure that you answer any questions that come through on emails. If we're having our patients learn about hydration, sleep quality, supplements, and nutrition, and we're sending out emails to educate them, why not answer the questions that come in? Because those questions would also be the best future emails to write to your patient base. The questions that keep coming in, like, can I do this? So as a chiropractor, can I play with my kids? Can I hike? Can I exercise? I want to empower my patients to exercise, but oftentimes they're scared because they think that they are fragile and in an injured state. And I want to combat that idea. I want them to progress and actively take part in their care. So have that availability. Now, two-way text messaging also allows us to answer a ton of questions very quickly. So there's research from a sales team that did research about text messaging. An active individual can maintain 60 to 80 text-based conversations in an hour, 60 to 80 conversations in an hour if they're through text. But the flip side, they can only handle 10 to 12 phone calls in an hour, right? So 10 to 12 versus 60 to 80, the decision's easy, right? So what does that mean? Now, you don't have 60 to 80 patient visits every day probably, right? Most doctors don't. But if, for example, my office, if I have 12 visits a day, can I handle all the questions that will come up from those 12 patient visits that day in just a few minutes at the end of the day? Well, of course, absolutely. And it's not hard to do through text messaging, right? Further, if you want to continue to feed that belief and continuity and connection as you're answering questions, it would be great to have a library of videos and coursework that you can send out to those patients to further answer the questions. So for example, if I get put on a new medication, how about a course, a short course that explains the medications used? An example for these lupus patients, right? They could send in a question and I could say, hey, that's a great question about the medication you're on and its side effects. Here's a video course we recorded all about that. Maybe it's 3 short videos that just explain how to take it, the side effects, and when to check in with the office for yellow and red flags based on the medication, right? Just answer those questions. That's going to continue to build that relationship and increase that continuity, increase that trust, and that'll continue to help your office grow. Now, one thing that came up in this article as well is these people with lupus would go into support groups And they would read all about patients that were not being taken care of, that were being dismissed. And they would oftentimes recommend their doctor, right? So if you want your office to grow, provide a great service, and then patients that have been battling through crappy offices will refer their friends and family to you, right? Maybe you're a lupus specialist, or maybe you're a specialist in low back pain or yoga or whatever. But when that niche of people find you as their savior, they're going to send people. So how can they easily refer? I'll go back and I'll say that two-way text communication allows them to say, hey, I'm referring my sister. Her name is Linda. Please take care of her. Your front desk staff or you can set up the conversations around how to get Linda in there and get her taken care of. So all of those things are to help grow your impact, grow your office, and produce a trustworthy relationship with your patient. Now, I'm going to dive into a little bit more about this article because there's so much in here, but I'm going to cut this video off here. I hope it's useful. Leave a comment or a like below so that we can talk more about it. Thanks a lot. And if you're interested in our software solutions, check out TrustDrivenCare.com. Again, that's TrustDrivenCare.com. We offer communication, education, software for providers to have a wonderful, trustworthy relationship with their patients. I hope that's you. All right, we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.